Donald Trump, I think we can all agree, very smart guy. And Joe Biden, though, people have concerns about. And so Donald Trump is trying to really press what he sees as his advantage on brains. And he's been doing this in a variety of forms. On Truth Social, he bleated this: "Crooked Joe Biden must take a capital C cognitive test. Maybe that way we would be able to find out why he makes such terrible decisions. I took 2 of them and aced them both, no mistakes. All capital P presidents or people wanting to become president should mandatorily take this test." And we're gonna talk more about those tests. But first, unfortunately, he has to talk more about those tests, as he did with Sean Hannity.
And I said this morning, I say it loud and clear, you should take a cognitive test. A president should take a cognitive. Now, they say that's unconstitutional. For whatever reason, it's unconstitutional. But I took 2 of them, and I aced both of them, I'm very proud to say, meaning I got it all right.
Ronny
and Ronny Jackson did one. They're not that easy. You know, they show you the first ones are pretty easy. And then you get into the middle category. Then you get to the end questions. Very few people could answer those questions. They're actually very tough.
I've seen the test.
Sean Hannity is such a hack. My God, is he the worst pseudo journalist ever? I've seen the test. Yeah, so have I. I've seen the test. He's lying to your face, and you have to sit there, and you know that if you fact check him, pointing out that, identifying which of the animal pictures is the whale is not very tough. That the basic arithmetic, the ability to draw a clock showing a particular time, none of those are difficult. Plenty of people can answer those questions, but Sean Hannity has to pretend that he would utterly fail that. Maybe D, maybe he'd get a C on a good day. That's what he has to pretend because Donald Trump is talking to him.
We might have millions of people watching this show, but you can be the difference maker because we just need 1% of our audience to be paid members, and then this show can be around forever. So you can make that difference. Click join now.
Now, Donald Trump, of course, has been talking about those dementia tests that he managed to pass for years now at this point. And we've already shown you the test. We've already gone through that. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to say something that I think I alluded to this on Wednesday's episode, which is when we've heard about the dementia test, the way that non-MAGA people have responded is to do what I just did. To point out that it's not an IQ test, it's not a test of how smart you are, it's literally a test for dementia. That's all it is. So why are you bragging about the fact that you aced it, which means that I passed it? Yeah, we know what acing it means, buddy. But I think that we're granting him too much by jumping to fact checking him about how tough the test is. Because I will remind you, Ronny Jackson, now congressman, then presidential doctor, is the one who gave him the test that he aced. And we buy that he aced it because it's easy. But Ronny Jackson is also the guy who came out of that presidential exam and told people with a straight face that Donald Trump weighs 239 pounds. So why are we simply accepting that he aced that test? Why are we accepting that he passed that test? We haven't seen his test. We haven't seen him do it live. Ronny Jackson has already proven that he's willing to lie about numbers. Why are we thinking that if Donald Trump didn't ace that test, in fact, if he failed it, that Ronny Jackson would just be the ethical obligation of a doctor to tell us all the truth? Who actually believes that? I think we should see him do it live. Biden can do it too or whatever, but I think Trump should try to identify the lion live on TV.
I do love the fact that, again, these tests were years ago and he's still talking about it today. That's like me sitting here and bragging about the ACT score I got when I was a senior in high school. Totally off the charts, I aced the thing. Okay, you did a good thing one time, man. You gotta let it go. I'm not bragging about that either. So let's just move on with our lives. But at the same time, the way he described it, he's like, first you have the beginning part, and then there's the middle, and then the end. That's actually the way everything is. There's a beginning, there's a middle, and then there's an end. But that is how he described the test. And we're supposed to listen to him say those words and think, oh yes, this man has it all together. Everything is totally fine up here, no problems. This is just nuttery at this point. And the only way I can describe it is to make up words like that because this is so ridiculous.
I think he should do puzzle books, okay? Because I don't know about this dementia test. And like you said, there's no proof that he aced it. But I think he does need to get some daily conditioning to see what we can do here. This is the same guy who told us to inject bleach. Remember that? Okay, it's beautiful. What about that idea as he looked off? And I forget her name, the one doctor with the sweater who stuck it out to the end after they put Fauci in the basement. Donald Trump and his test taking, just like I believe, and maybe it's just rumors, in college, might have been a few things that were cheated, may have been discovered. We still don't have the transcripts. Remember, he wanted Barack's birth certificate, but what about your transcript? As you threatened the school and said, you better not release that. So, this is a guy who never really had it and is a one-trick pony, and the curtain's coming down now, okay? Ask Letitia James. It seems to be coming down all around him, but we'll see what happens next. If he'll do it live, I think Bill O'Reilly should give the test to them, both of them together. Well, I just do it live and have Trump and Biden take the test, and we'll see.
Yeah, I'd like to say, and you know what? Not just the cognitive test. Have them do some push-ups. They love to joke about Biden falling off a bicycle. Donald, I want to see you ride a bicycle, buddy. I want to see you hop on a bicycle and pump those legs and not fall flat on your face. I want to see that. And I will remind everyone, Sharon, you were right that he never released his grades or whatever, despite calling for Obama's birth certificate to be released. I will also remind everyone, when he heard that Barack Obama was a great student, he also demanded that his transcripts be released. He questioned that. And of course, he was not willing to be as transparent with his own numbers. God, this is such a stupid world.